What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update. We're going into the last 24 hours of Tottenham news regarding the Wilson Odobert signing. Dan Kilpatrick say that Odobert should be registered in time to be available for selection on Monday night against Leicester. I'm not sure, because the game's on a Monday night, we get extra time to register a player. I don't know, but it looks as though that he will be signed in time to take part in the game,
which is really exciting. I doubt he'll start the game, but having him to come off the bench and be an option if need be, if we're struggling to get goals, and he can, come on, provide his pace, his trickery, which has got a lot of fans very, very excited for Wilson Odobert. I think it's a really positive thing. Obviously, we shouldn't need him to win on Monday, but anything that will get the Spurs fans excited is only going to be positive. And I, for one, I'm just very excited about having him at the club. I think, yes, he's played for a team last season who got relegated, and he's very young and he lacks experience, but I think he provides all the tools that our front line are missing, and especially on the wing. And I think, yes, he's not a big name, but he could be the right name, and that's the most important thing.
Very well could be. And I think that in terms of being part of the squad, it's only positive things, and the quicker we get him acclimatised, the more beneficial it's going to be for us. So very much looking forward to that. Dominic Solanke has finally been given his squad number, and he gets to wear the 19 shirt this season. I'm sure he would have really preferred the 19. I was wondering why
18.
we took... Sorry, the 9, I was going to say.
Oh.
I'm sure he would have wanted the 9, but Richarlison obviously is occupying that. It made me think about why we've taken so long to give him the number. The only thing I can think of is because they were waiting for someone like Celso to leave and give him the 18 shirt, because he's spoken about his admiration for Jermaine Defoe in the past, and obviously that was his number. Are you of the same thinking?
Yeah, I don't think it's a big deal, but 19, good number for him. I can't remember how many. Last 19 was Sessegnon, so not the best.
The last player of note was Musa Dembele.
Okay, so that's not a bad player to be following in the footsteps of.
Before that was Bassong, Adel Taarabt, Andy Reid, Callum Davenport, Chris
no
Armstrong.
Strikers.
Armstrong, Andy Booth.
Andy Booth, of course.
John Scales, Mauricio Taricco, Stuart Nethercott.
Taricco was 19 at one point.
Yeah. Paul McVeigh.
Legend.
Kevin Scott, Kevin Watson.
So, look, it's not a number that's
just Musa Dembele,
chock-a-block full of talent, but look, as long as he's got that 9 on his shirt, I'm sure he'll have the confidence to score goals for Spurs.
I'm sure whatever number he has on the back of his shirt, he'll have the confidence to score for Spurs. But yeah, he's finally been given the shirt number. But let's talk about some transfers now, as Dan Kilpatrick says that now that Wilson Odobert is through the door, Solomon will most likely drop down further in the pecking order and is available to leave, whether it be a permanent or a loan spell. Which is a bit of a sad case, because we did bring him in last season looking to make an impact in the first team, got injured after the first 5 games, haven't seen him since, hasn't played any significant part in pre-season, just a few appearances here and there. And yeah, it's just unfortunate.
It is what it is. Obviously, we've got the numbers now in the wing positions. He's kind of surplus to requirements at this point, so there's not really a need for him. I know when we signed him there was excitement, and maybe he could have been a really good option, but that injury's really obviously hampered his time at Tottenham. Look, I wouldn't necessarily say this is definitely the end. If he goes out on loan and proves himself, maybe he can come back, and Werner's potentially not going to be here next season if he doesn't impress too much on his loan spell. So there could be another spot there on the left-hand side if for Solomon to prove himself, if he shows what he's about on a loan. But I do feel like it's more likely than not he's probably played his last game for the club, to be honest.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way as well. So I do hope he does get a good move, and I hope he keeps himself fit for the coming season, because I do think he has talent. So look, we wish him the best of luck, whichever club he does end up at, but we got to get that move, because it's very likely if we don't get the move, he won't be part of the squad anyway.
Which would be really bad for him.
Yeah.
He needs game time. He needs to go somewhere where he's going to get that time to build his fitness up again, build his confidence, and show what he can do. And if he's not going to be in the European squad for Tottenham, he won't be here.
Do you reckon Shakhtar will take him back?
Shakhtar? Maybe. Maybe on a cheeky loan deal. I don't know.
Can you imagine if Daniel Levy has the gall to go to Shakhtar and say, do you want to pay us some money for Manor Solomon?
Maybe they'll want him back. Yeah, that'd be quite funny. God.
Let's talk about Giovanni Lo Celso. SportX says that Fenerbahce are working on a deal to sign Lo Celso. Mourinho has personally approved the signing for the Tottenham midfielder. And El Tringuito says that Roma want to sign Tottenham midfielder Gio Lo Celso to replace the outgoing Paulo Dybala. Villa and Betis remain keen on signing him too. Spurs want 15 million euros for his sale. And 15 million euros for a player of Gio's quality is not that much.
I think it's a good price, but obviously his injury record's pretty bad. I think he would suit really Roma really well, albeit he's not a similar player to Dybala. I think he's very different. So if they expect him to replace Dybala, I think they're very different players. Obviously Mourinho at Fenerbahce. He did quite well under Mourinho, I felt. He had that
Probably
really good
his
spell.
best period.
He had a really good spell under Mourinho when he was first at the club, and so maybe Mourinho knows how to get the best out of him. I think a move to Turkey at this point of his career would be a bit disappointing, considering I still think that he's got a lot to give in one of the major leagues, but if he feels like it's a good project, maybe he's looking at thinking, team up Mourinho again, maybe being challenged for Europa League or challenged for the league title, and that could be something to excite him, but I think if he gets a chance to join Roma, that would be a great move for him.
What a tie it'll be, though, if Fenerbahce dropping down to the Europa League, Lo Celso and Mourinho teaming up against Spurs in the Champions League, in the Europa League.
Bring it on. That'd be fun. God, part of me would be absolutely not looking forward to that. Just the bus parking in that game would be biblical, probably.
And you know what? I really want this tie to happen. Can you imagine the press conferences from Mourinho before the game? He's going to be laying into Spurs.
Yeah. God, Lucy Fenerbahce, let me play a cup tie.
It will be incredible. It'll be box office stuff for sure. Let's talk about Alfie Devine. Sam C says that Alfie Devine will be loaned out to a championship side, Millwall and Sheffield Wednesday among those interested. And Joe Cran says that Alfie Devine is a name being considered by championship club Sheffield Wednesday on a loan deal. And Joe Cran is a Sheffield Wednesday journalist. Are you surprised that Alfie Devine is getting a championship side when someone like Jamie Donley is going to the championship, or is it Alfie Devine has already had these kind of loan spells, so he's kind of proved himself there? He's
further along in his development. He's had a few loan spells now in League One, in the Championship as well. I think he did quite well last season at Plymouth. By and large, yes, it was a bit of a mixed experience, but by and large, for a player with his first experience in the Championship, went fairly well for him. So I think it makes a lot more sense for Jamie Donley, who's only ever played under 21s. So it's a lot more difficult for teams to take a punt on him in the Championship, whereas in League One, they're going to be more willing to do so, especially with the quality he showed. So it doesn't surprise me. Obviously, it would have been perfect if Devine got a lower Premier League move, but maybe he's just not quite there yet in terms of what he's shown. Albeit I've been impressed with him, but maybe I would like him to go to a top half Championship side. But any loan move in the Championship, I think, will do pretty well.
If he goes to Millwall, teaming up with old Japhet Tanganga.
Yeah, it can make him feel at home and let him settle in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really hope Devine smashes it this season coming, because not only do I really believe in his talents, but I really want him to be part of the first team next season. I was so excited when I was watching him in pre-season. He was one of the standout players. He outshone a lot of our first team members in this current pre-season. So I hope he has a strong season ahead and really fights for his spot next year in the first team. I think that's got to be the course of action for Alfie Devine. And just as we're talking about it, it gets announced. Jamie Donley to Leyton Orient. It has been announced. There he is in his Leyton Orient jersey. And this is the way that Leyton Orient did announce it, which I thought was a nice little touch. Because Leyton Orient love a bit of a Spurs loan, don't they?
Absolutely.
So this is the way they announced it. They said, anyone for a Spurs loanee. If you go down, that one. This one. Up, yeah. So you got.
So do you reckon we can name all of them?
I can't name all of them, but I saw Harry Kane, Andros Townsend, Charlie Daniels.
Yeah, Harry Kane, Tom Carroll, Andros Townsend, Charlie Daniels. I don't know who that one is. Know who that is, and Jamie Donley. Who are the other two?
This one, I recognise this one.
Let me see. Let me see if I can.
I can't remember who that is. Can you remember who that is? Not him. Yeah, him. Who is that?
Yeah, they're him. Yeah,
I really recognise him.
on loan. Was he on loan there last season? No.
Nah, this is a while ago.
Can't remember his name. No, can't remember it, and I can't remember the kid before him as well.
That's not Obika, is it?
It could be.
John Obika?
But he did have like a shorter hair.
Yeah, I thought so. But maybe
Anyway.
he had that when he was younger.
Yeah, it could be Obika.
So anyway, that was the way they announced it. Then they said new signing, and there's a nice little video of him, a nice heavily edited video saying, Leyton Orient are delighted to announce the signing of Jamie Donley, who joins on a 1 season long loan from Tottenham. Welcome E10. Welcome to E10. I thought they were giving them the number 10. And then, there's just a picture of him. If you go above, saying, a quote from him saying, I think it's the right time for me to make my first loan move, and I think that Orient is the perfect club for me right now. So big up to Jamie Donley. And then Spurs announced it on their Twitter saying Jamie Donley has announced a new contract with the club until 2029 and joined Leyton Orient on loan for the remainder of the 24-25 season. Good luck, Jamie. And yeah, I for one hopes he absolutely smashes it out, and hopefully we can follow his progress throughout the season.
I've got some more quotes from here on the website. He says, Orient is a perfect club for me right now. I want to get that first team football under my belt, and to do this at a great club with fans and players and the staff, it's the best place for me to come. I'm a team player. I like to score, assist and defend. I'll do whatever I can to help the team win, and will do what the staff ask of me. I played left back for Tottenham in pre-season. I can play in midfield and anywhere across the front three. Richie Wellens was ecstatic to secure the Leyton Orient 7th signing. He says, Jamie's a brilliant talent, skills, goals and assists. He's technically very good and is someone who Spurs rate very highly and they think can play for the first team in the future. And the director of football has said Jamie is highly thought of at Spurs, and we are grateful to them for allowing us to take him on loan for the season. We have a good relationship with Spurs, which goes back many years, and we hope Jamie can be the latest player to have a successful time with us before going back to Spurs and making an impression on their first team. Jamie has spent a lot of time training with the Spurs senior squad this summer, and this is a big move for him, with it being his first senior loan. He can cover a number of positions. He has a fantastic left foot, and we are looking forward to seeing what he can do for us.
Brilliant stuff. So yeah, we wish him all the best, and we'll definitely be keeping a close eye on him. So big up to you, and I really hope he does get that consistent football that he thoroughly needs. So big up to you, Jamie. And last but not least, Spurs are planning a move to sign Manor Locatelli. Juventus are willing to sanction a sale for £20 million. Ange Postecoglou is adamant that he wants to sign a central midfielder before the transfer window shuts. We heard Paul O'Keefe say that he envisages Spurs to sign one more player from now until the end of the transfer window. I think about 2 weeks to go now. Do you feel it will be a midfielder, and do you feel like Locatelli is a viable option?
This is from the Footy Insider. It's important to note.
Yeah,
it's not like okay, he's got some things right, but when it kind of comes to transfer news, I don't see him as the most reliable source. Do I look all the noise from The Athletic and from a lot of other players, from Michael Bridge as well on Sky Sports, saying if we are going to bring another one, it will be a midfielder. So clearly it look like that's where we are going to commit our money if we are signing another one, which I'm not mad at, but you could argue left centre back slash left back is a more pressing issue. That's a bigger hole, but Spence can fill in there. You do have Davis, you do have Gray, who could maybe fill in some of those spots as well. So I guess maybe they're looking at it at the moment is there are options there, whereas in midfield, although we have options in midfield, but maybe they're just looking at it in the case of there's more of a pressing need. I would argue maybe not, but I think improving midfield I'm never going to be mad at. In terms of Locatelli, I have my reservations, but I do really like him on the ball. I think he's a really good passer, and that's something that is a bit missing from midfield, like an elite passing ability from deep positions. I feel like Basuma, not 100% sure on that. Bentancur, I think he's a good passer, but I don't know if he's an elite passer. And when it comes to long-range passing and dictating a game with his passing ability, I think Locatelli really has that. I think off the ball, there are question marks. He's a bit slow. Can he cover the ground needed for a 6? I don't know. I don't know if he's an 8 in our system as well. I don't know if he gets forward like that. I think he's more of a sitter, like a Jorginho type. So I think he has his benefits, especially for games that we're going to dominate possession and not give too many chances up. I think he could really help unlock defences. I think off the ball he's a good tackler. He's a good reader of the game, but I don't know if 6 in our system is going to benefit him or if he's going to get overrun. I don't know.
When you look at it, right, with Locatelli, a lot of the teams that we play against now, you've got to say the vast majority of teams that we play against, low block and sit very deep against us. And that's probably the kind of games that will suit Locatelli the best, when we're dictating the tempo of the game, we're really pressing forward, and we can use his passing ability to really break down these teams. So I would say he would be a good signing, and maybe you don't play him in the Man City games and the Arsenal games and these really big games where teams are going to, attack us.
But if the narrative is we needed a monster 6, I don't know if Locatelli...
He's not that monster 6 like your Rodri and your Declan Rice mold. He's not that. But I definitely think he's someone that can impact in the majority of games that we do play.
He reminds me of Jorginho. That's the kind of 6 he would be. And look, Jorginho seems to do all right at Arsenal when he starts, but he does start alongside a Rice and an Odegaard. So if we start Locatelli, he'd probably have to be alongside, a Bentancur or Basuma.
Yeah, I mean, when Jorginho does play against for Arsenal, they push Rice up, don't they? And Rice is the 8, and he's the 6. So I think we've got plenty of good 8s that can sit aside Locatelli.
Yeah. So from that point of view, it could work. I would be interested if they were to go for him, because I do think, in terms of what he provides, it is something that we don't really have. He is a kind of profile that was missing from the squad, I feel.
Yeah, I like him. And like I said, I think he can be a really good option for us in many, many games that we play. Like, how many times last season did we look just clueless on the ball when teams were sitting back at us just playing sideways, that shoehorn football that people used to talk about. And I think he will go some way to combating that.
Yeah, I think so.
But that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.